Alors, quoi faire pour gagner une note de 7 sur l'examen de papier 1? What to do to get a 7 on the paper 1 exam, the writing exam? Here, I'll break down what you have to do and the most common mistakes to avoid. Let's go. The biggest thing is understanding the type of text, how to write it, and avoiding common mistakes in your writing. What are the most common mistakes? I'll break them down here. Premièrement, c'est les adjectifs. Firstly, adjectives. You have to have good adjective agreements. Make sure that when you're using an adjective in French, it agrees with the noun that it's describing in terms of gender and number. So if I say like beautiful girls, I have to say les belles filles, where belle is spelled B-E-L-L-E-S. So it's feminine, plural. The adjective has to agree with the noun in gender and number. A lot of times students make mistakes with that and it costs them marks. Be mindful of that. Adjective agreements in French. Really important. Deuxièmement, c'est les conjugaisons. Secondly, conjugation, subject-verb agreements. Make sure that the verb agrees with the subject that is doing the action. So if I say like the boys are eating, that'll be les garçons mangent. How do I spell mange? It will be M-A-N-G-E-N-T. You have to make sure that the conjugation is accurate to the subject. A lot of times students make mistakes with this and their conjugation is wrong. You'll lose marks here. It shows that you don't understand the grammar concepts. For all tenses, you have to have this: present, future, passé composé, conditionnel. Make sure that the subject and verb always agree. Really important, especially even after like a preposition like qui. Make sure you're still conjugating the verb based on the subject. So I would say like les enfants qui mangent, the children who eat. The mange still is plural, M-A-N-G-E-N-T, after the qui. Make sure that the subject is consistent with the verb. So the conjugations always have to be accurate. Keep that in mind. Subject-verb agreements. That's another big mistake on the writing exam. Une autre chose, c'est les tons de verbe. Make sure your tenses are consistent. Your verb tense application. If you're describing multiple actions occurring at the same time, keep the verb tense consistent. If I'm describing 3 actions in the past, use the past tense for all 3, not present. So if I say like, j'ai mangé un pizza et après, je suis allé à l'école et j'ai parlé avec mes amis, those are all past actions. I ate a pizza, then I went to school and I spoke to my friends. All 3 actions are written in passé composé. Make sure you're consistent with tenses when the actions are happening at the same time, or you'll lose marks for grammar. If I'm describing all present actions, I use present tense consistently. Same with future, anything else. Inconsistent verb tenses mess up the meaning of the phrases and it makes it unclear. Be mindful of that. Une autre chose très importante à maîtriser pour l'examen est les expressions de quantité. Another thing to master for this exam are quantity expressions. Make sure that when you're saying a lot of, it's beaucoup de, never beaucoup de. Less of is moins de, never moins de. This is an error that I see a lot in students writing. They say beaucoup de anything. It's always beaucoup de, even when the objects are plural. A lot of things is beaucoup de choses, not beaucoup des choses. A lot of girls, beaucoup de filles, not beaucoup des filles. Less people is moins de personnes, not moins des personnes. Make sure quantity expressions are using de as a preposition. Some of them are different, like plusieurs can be used with de sometimes, but beaucoup and moins are always with de. Beaucoup de, moins de. Be mindful of that. Une autre grande erreur est un manque de structure et cohésion. You want to have structure and cohesion. A big error that students face is a lack of structure and cohesion. How do you accomplish this? You have to use les connecteurs logiques, linking words. Using linking words, linking expressions, and like starting phrases, that's going to help you have better structure and cohesion in your writing. Like a starting phrase would be like tout d'abord or premièrement, like firstly or first off, or de plus, like as well, or you could say as well like ainsi, or aussi, or you could say another expression like cependant, which means however. You want to have good linking expressions and words that allow you to tie ideas together, compare, contrast ideas, list ideas and things, introduce new things in your writing. It's really important. It helps add more structure and cohesion where everything flows easier. So you need linking words. I have a guide for that, the IB French vocab guide. Check it out on my website, nathanstutoring.com. It's absolutely free. Make sure you're using linking words and elevating your writing. With that point of elevating your writing, lastly, the biggest mistake, or another big mistake students are making, is lacking elevated vocabulary. Alors, c'est quoi le vocabulaire élevé? What is elevated vocabulary? It's basically using better vocabulary words, relevant themed words and vocabulary, linking words as well, as we mentioned, but also like stronger nouns, verbs, and adjectives that are specific to themes. such as le réchauffement climatique to describe something to do with the environment, climate change. Or you could say something like, you could say an expression like j'ai le cafard, which means I have the blues, if you want to describe being sad. It's a more elevated way of saying je suis triste. So what I'm doing here is I'm using elevated vocabulary to express ideas. It shows that I understand the French language more because I can use deeper vocabulary. That's really important in your writing if you're looking to score higher grades. Use more verb tenses, use elevated vocabulary. That's also in my vocab guide, check it out. But all of these common errors are broken down in my new handbook, the Paper 1 handbook, the IB French B SL Paper 1 handbook. Make sure you check that out. It'll break down everything you have to do to score a 7 on the writing exam. Merci beaucoup.